All right, let's dig deeper on this rescheduling by bringing in Dr. Mahsa Tehrani, board-certified rheumatologist. Doc, good to see you. I know in your practice there, you have a lot of experience with patients who are using these cannabinoids for pain and things. I just wanted to put on the screen what this difference in scheduling means. Currently, marijuana is Schedule 1, which means no currently accepted medical use and high potential for abuse. It will be changed to Schedule 3, moderate to low potential for physical and psychological dependence. Give us the big picture of what this means now in terms of treatment for people who have intractable pain or other things that marijuana may be beneficial for.
Hi, John. Yes. So currently, marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug, which places it in the same category as heroin federally. But at the state level, 40 states allow medical use, and over 6 million Americans are legally using it under their physician supervision. So this executive order comes very timely by President Trump to address the disconnect between the federal and state levels. Now, rescheduling will not suddenly legalize marijuana as they kept emphasizing. But I think it will make it official that it may have positive beneficial medical uses, and it will lower the barriers that have blocked high quality research over the decades and hopefully open up lots of federal funding to support research. Now, on a personal physician level, I do see a lot of patients with pain on a daily basis. And the reality is, John, we don't have great pain medications that are first line that are magic bullets. Some people are recalcitrant to these treatments that we use. Some patients have adverse side effects. That's why I welcome the opportunity to foster large-scale clinical trials looking at the potential beneficial medical uses of marijuana and the side effects of it appropriately. A lot of the studies we have right now are unfortunately observational, which are not ideal.
I thought it was interesting that both RFK Jr. and Howard Kessler, who has been promoting this, both said that the initial application that they're looking at is for patients over the age of 65, because opioids are not recommended for people over the age of 65 because of the potential downside. And Howard Kessler saying when you apply modern techniques, modern machines, and AI to cannabis research, you could shorten down the period of getting a viable application of cannabis from 10 years to a single year. So what kind of promise might this hold for people who cannot take opioids to treat intractable pain?
I think CBD, cannabidiol, holds a lot of promise. I've been recommending it to my patients, John, for the past 10 years. CBD has different formulations. Some have higher levels of THC, which can cause that psychological high. Some have THC below 0.3%, which is essentially undetectable and won't cause that high. But it can help with sleep. It can help with muscle relaxation. A lot of our patients have back pain, neck pain, knee pain. These are all chronic degenerative disc disease, chronic osteoarthritis, neuropathic pain. All of these can basically benefit a lot from CBD use.
Of course, you know, one of the things you run to as a doctor is people who self-medicate, and maybe some people might go to their local dispensary in states where cannabis is legal and buy something over the counter. And today's pot is not what it was when I was a kid. Take a look at this. In the 1990s, the average THC concentration for marijuana was 5%. 2022, with the modern marijuana flower, it's 15 to 35% with an average of 21%. Cannabis concentrates can go up to 60 or 90% potency. So people really have to be careful if they're going to a local dispensary to get something and self-medicate with.
That's exactly right. And John, natural does not always mean safe. As you said, the concentrations are going up, and all the more reason, though, to allow these gold standard evidence-based randomized controlled trials so we can say exactly what is the optimal dosing. And these companies will now have tax benefits that they can use to fund their research. They were having to deal with a lot of banking and taxation issues, these producers.
Yes, I know. Yeah, they couldn't run through banks because the banking is a federal system, and even if it's legal on a local level, you couldn't run it through banks, which is why it's a cash-all operation. Doc, thanks for the read on this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Good to see you.
All right, good luck with the rest of your clinic day. Sandra?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.